Good day. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Dwarf Fortress. As you might be able to tell already, probably you can if you're watching my face, I am not speaking to you live as I'm playing the game. Somehow, me not paying proper attention to OBS, the sound was not recorded during this episode, leaving me with a 1 hour plus episode without any audio. So that's bad. Essentially unusable in the sense that I couldn't really. I guess I could. I could post a video with no audio. I've done it in the past by accident. I think what I just did was put an apology, sort of mea culpa, in the description and left it that way, but it's never going to be a very good video doing that. I think it was one of my earlier Minecraft ones. So I'm going to try my hand at overdubbing. I'm looking around at the different layers of the forest, and we got some traders, and yes, a new caravan, an elven caravan. I have a cup of coffee as well as a glass of water at hand, and there's a pretty good chance I will do this in a couple of chunks because it's a long time to sit and overdub something. Alrighty, so the traders are arriving and getting set up for trading. Time to choose some stuff to bring. These are elves who are just, frankly, they're a pain in the ass to trade with. They don't want to take anything with wood or animal products or anything like that, which makes them, basically you can trade rock stuff, crafts, and tools and things. You could probably trade them weapons and tools that are made out of, well, maybe not, because there's probably wood involved in those tools. It's an interesting thought. I've never tried that. Maybe just armor and stuff that's essentially metal, although there would be leather involved in holding armor together. I don't know. Anywho, we've also got some recently arrived nobles, including a queen necromancer, which seems like a bad idea, having your queen be a necromancer. And just the usual sort of bouncing around, checking on different things. Here we've got some quarters that I'm in the process of setting up very gradually, intending them for, in this case, the Duke, and we've got now the Monarch, Tob Rigoth Shoduk, maybe? The Queen Necromancer. So that's awesome. In a non-awesome sort of way, I'm not actually sure what I'm looking for here. Maybe to see what's going on with the nobles and such. Or possibly the queen. Scroll, there's the queen right there. Okay, am I looking for the queen? Feel like I might be. Yes, okay. What is she up to? And now I go find her again, because that's how I roll. We're going to check her status. Yes, we are. There she, oh, she's cooking. She is a high master cook, which is pretty awesome. She's hauling prepared giant sparrow. She feels vengeful when joining existing conflict. Alright, how are we doing with the traders? They're not ready to trade yet, but we need to bring those goods. Certainly haven't selected anything to bring. It'll be finished goods bins, no doubt. I'm hoping that I just kind of pause this and, hey, that's the exact same glass I'm drinking out of right now. It's my preferred water glass. How exciting. Okay, probably time to select some goods to bring over to the depot there, Robert. If I can call you Robert. Oh, did I already bring goods? Oh, I must have. Alright, so here's all the trading. No, goat leather. What's the matter with you? Why are you doing that? These are elves, aren't they? Oh, the humans. My mistake. These are human merchants, which are not so picky. Now, I would actually probably... I probably would default to trading them finished prepared meals, which have a great value. I think my thinking here is to get rid of the clothing that the dwarves have discarded that have quite a bit of wear on it, like all of these things with the small or big X's beside them that are in the finished goods bins, um, as well as crafts, bone crafts and things. The humans are not picky like the stupid elves are. The current trading interface is quite difficult. Why are you shooting? Don't trade water skins. What are you doing? Robert, that's not what you want to do. Guess I wasn't paying enough attention there. Really worn shoes, I see. And socks. Double X's. The other thing, they don't have much value to be. Well, some of them do. 20 and 30 currency units, but I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. The prepared meals. There's some things. Cave spider stuff. It's more valuable. A variety of clothing. Woohoo! So hopefully this overdubbing shtick works out okay. I think it should. What I'm doing, the mechanics of it, is I have the video playing in a window that's probably not quite 2/3 of my screen, and I have an audio recording software called Audacity recording my voice in mono because my microphone is in fact mono, so there's no point in recording it stereo. Alright, what do the humans have that we might want? Ropes, not so much. Flasks, yeah, I traded them some water skins or flasks by accident there, which I obviously didn't notice. So we'll grab some here. You need a bunch, or you need a sufficient number for military in particular. There's another one there, or two you should take. Yeah, okay. Instruments, not so much. Toys. Toys for the young'uns. What's my population? 184. Yeah, it's getting up there. Toy axes, toy hammers. The little dwarflings do like to play with toys of various kinds. Ooh, any animals that we care about? Probably not, although I do have a goose's breeding station or nesting area where eggs and whatever are produced in quantity. Some ibexes who will probably get killed sooner than later, unfortunately, as goblins and whatever. I do have, I think, yes, I do have a closed-in pasture in this at this point. It's just sort of a little southwest, directly southwest of my main compound. It's not huge. Just some empty cages. It's nice to have cages around. They're, especially the metal ones. They're cheap and they all work as well. I don't think there's any value in the more expensive cages in terms of function. The dwarves might like the more expensive ones more, so I should maybe keep that in mind, although I'm not sure how much time they spend walking past cage traps. Some. If they're injured and they stumble into a cage trap, they might get caught themselves. Or drunk or sick. A lot of cages, holy man, lots of animals too. Cockatiel, bush tit. Oh, wow. Guess we could breed cockatiels. Not sure why we would want to. Ooh, booze. Booze and milk. Let's do it. Make cheese from the milk and skip that expensive barrel. Turnip wine. All the booze. We need booze. Actually, we're a little low on booze, so I'm not keeping up with production at the moment. Pig's milk, alpaca milk, empty barrels. Sewer brew. That's the best. It probably tastes like Screech, which is not the best. That's a Newfoundland rum. I forget the story behind it, but it's pretty terrible. Like, it was meant to be cheap, and I'm not sure if it's cheap anymore or not, but I had some when my wife and I were in Newfoundland a couple months ago for about 10 days on a vacation, which was lovely. But the Screech was awful, just terrible. They do a little ceremony where you can get screeched in and become an honorary Newfoundlander by taking a shot of Screech. It's a good thing it's a shot, so the horribleness is over fairly quickly. It's a lingering aftertaste. Large armor and large clothing from humans. No good for dwarfs, I'm afraid, unless you want to melt things down, but this fortress has no shortage of metals, including iron, which is nice. And I'm not sure where it's at, but I think in the previous episode to this, I just noticed limonite, which is a flux stone that you can use to get the steel production up and running, as long as you have iron. So, what sacks? Some seeds, maybe some sand, possibly. Just some empty bags is always a good idea, although you can make bags easily enough with cloth. Speaking of which, I'll probably grab, we'll see, probably grab some cloth bins and maybe some leather, although I might have enough of that kind of stuff. Nope, let's grab a cloth bin. All wool cloth, it looks like. Oh, not all of it actually. Oh, there's plant, yeah, they're grouped usually. Leather, fish leather, animal wool, cloth, and alrighty, going down the list here. Bolts, how am I doing value wise? Yeah, I've got hardly any value selected out of all those clothing and stuff, like 300. Oh, hang on, no, that's not true. I have 2,700 values selected and up over 3,000 that I want. So hopefully I'm not losing sight of that. I'm sure I probably not, although I think I do sometimes. The traders have a weight limit, which I don't think I've ever actually seen come into play. I'm not sure when that would happen. Maybe if you're trading like siege equipment or something, or stones possibly, boulders, I don't know. Getting down to the, just grab a few leaves and berries to make the meals a little more appealing. Oh, yarn. Thread is good. Yeah, we'll grab the thread because you can spin that into cloth and it's a huge value increase. Clothing, no. Maybe some backpacks, possibly. Again, mostly for the military. Make sure we have enough backpacks for everybody. Quivers. I don't have much in the way of archers going, and I think it's time I did that. Anyway. Anywho. Giant weapon. Or, giant machine parts, weapon parts. I think I'm just getting a little concerned about the values here. Time to choose some more things to trade. The cave spider silk items can still be quite valuable even when they're damaged. Leather and wool, much less so, but they can still have some value. That's the leather mostly that you see, two currency units, 10 currency units, whatever. Although that's an amulet that I was looking at just now. So some of the cave spider stuff has value, a bit of value. I mean, if you select, a couple hundred of them to trade, then 20 units of currency turns into 2,000, but that's a pain in, it's a lot of selecting. So the interface for this could use a lot of work. In the old way, you used to be able to, for example, bounce down through the items with like a cursor key and then hit your spacebar to choose or not choose, and that was frankly way faster than this scroll, click, scroll, click, scroll, click kind of stuff. All right, I think I'm trying to get the trade value into the green with the broker and the trader here. I'm up to 5,000 value and the traders still aren't happy with that. How much profit are they going to want? They're getting up to towards 50% profit here. Feels like enough. So, oh, there we go. We popped into the green. So I will no doubt choose a few more things and then go back and finish my item selection on the trader side. So, can we afford some of these giant weaponry things? Those are good for building the weapon corridor for the weapon corridor to direct invaders towards, which I have not successfully done yet, but by a little bit of cheese, but it's easier to make our own cheese, really. And then what did I miss there? Some books or scrolls, I guess. Crutches, splints. Don't really need any of that stuff. Might choose a little bit just to keep them coming from the traders, but that's about it. Any books? Books are good, although I haven't set up a... Oh, nest box is in a hive. Oh, a hive. I think I forgot all about that. Certainly haven't set it up. So, some scrolls. Thoughts on something. Life with mating. Union in the time of something. The Wizard's Guide to something. Oh, nice. Interesting. Alrighty. And then instrument parts, which are a lot less interesting. Whole instruments are better, but those books are, what did I add in value? About 1,500. Probably not quite 1,500 in value there. 1,300 maybe, or less, 1,200. So that's going to require quite a bit of used clothing to bring that up to a desirable trade for the humans. I think in some of the later episodes I've just paused the video while I'm trading because it's dull even for the person doing the trading, mostly because the interface is so painful. Why would I deselect that cheap bracelet, I wonder? No idea. Well, maybe I'm saving stone crafts for the elves. I don't know. Pretty sick of the elves, to be honest. There's a couple of instruments there. The value's getting close to, oh, there we go, we just popped into the green. So that might be, once I notice, that'll be it for the trading. Did I notice? Did I notice? Yes, I did. Let's trade. Let's do it. We did it. Okay, no more broker requested. All done with trading. Bye-bye, humans. Bye-bye. Now then, what else is going on around here? We got the big old corpse stockpile that I've expanded a couple of times. The walls around the compound. That's the enclosed pad. No, that's just the compound, sorry. Oh, there's some holes, yeah. When you chop down trees, I made the mistake of digging out things like the refuse pile underneath, like one layer underneath, so there's not that much soil in between or whatever. And what happens when you chop down trees is they'll often, the logs will punch through. They'll make holes in the ground and punch through the layer below. So something for me to keep in mind, which I used to do, was to go down a Z level or two, as long as there's soil down there, or at the least don't put refuse piles directly underneath areas where you're going to be chopping down trees. There's the trap corridor, which is, I didn't get a good look at it just now, but I think it's probably a little more than half full of traps. Well, so there's room in those little spaces for 2 traps in each of those little cells, and the invaders will go diagonally between the little cells. I've only got traps in half of them. I feel like that's probably enough, although if I get really excited, like if we have giant invasion forces, I'll probably have to add more, I suppose. I've yet to, as I mentioned, I've yet to actually do that. Direct invaders through that corridor. Alright, well, let's have a look at some of the announcements. I guess that wasn't too interesting. We've got our weresloth there that I've managed to pin into that little corridor and build some walls around, thereby reclaiming the old hospital space, which is great because there's a bunch of beds and buckets in there and thread and stuff. So yeah, that's good. We've got a good sized hospital area now. Traction tables, some plants growing inside the underground plants. Just looking around at what's stored in the hospital space. Thread. Now I haven't actually got a soap industry up and running, which I should probably do. Soap and an area for the dwarves to wash. So, oh, those are troglodytes? Yeah, that are getting caught there. Cave spider making webs that we can collect to make silk out of. Beauty. Do some harvesting of, stuff. Bunch of tasks have been completed, work orders. And the bunch in progress. Looks like I'm aiming for building out some more quarters for the dwarfs and also some statues to improve the quality. Should probably make some metal statues in order to... I don't know if that's fair or not. If I could make them out of a precious metal like gold or something, that might work better to increase the value of the quarters in particular, but also temples and things. I'm running out of water. I also feel like I should take a nap. Looking at various messages that have gone on here. As you can see, I've got a couple of clothier shops there that were recently added, as well as a loom or two. And I should pasture those animals that I just bought. I'm not sure if I'm going to remember to do that right now. Yep, here we go. This interface is actually pretty decent. You can see which animals are pastured somewhere. Pasture is sometimes a bit of a stretch, but there we go. Let's bring the donkey, the ram, the ibexes, the cow, the Etten from way back early in the game, an agitated giant crow. I should train that. Dralthas, I should train. Trogos, I don't think you can train. My war dog area is getting a little worn with sand and such. Do I have additional war dogs to assign to that? No, I don't think so. I do have a bunch of stray dogs though. Going back to those holes, so what you do is you build a floor over them such that they're not open to the surface, and animals and birds and whatever can just sort of come right in. There's my cat area and my dog area. Can't dig out that little portion because there's a pond up above. It's what I was just demonstrating. I think I could, but if there's significant water up there, it'll come through the ceiling, which isn't great. Something rotting in the corner there. Got a lot of bones and teeth and stuff here, so I think I'm wondering about whether I can set up an ivory craft thing to get rid of some of those or turn them into useful items. Look at all that cave wheat that's matured. There's the levers for a couple of different functions. Bridges to close off portions of the fortress. Back to the hospital. Back to the the little dormitory that I've got set up, which is probably completely inadequate, but the intention of that in the early game is just to give the dwarves somewhere to sleep and then just kind of leave it there in case there's new dwarves that come, which there often are, until I get enough quarters built. I see we're dumping raw meat into the stockpile. I wonder if, well, no, I bought a bunch of barrels, so there should be barrels for storing that. It's just the way the dwarves go about it. Imoosh is smelting copper, and that workshop has been taken over by Tobel, who has a strange mood going on. He's in the process, hopefully, of making an artifact. It's got wood, leather. Oh, he's working, yeah, okay, so most of the time an artifact comes out of that. There was a time in the game where strange moods, there we go, Tobel created a Melbil Dokbon, an iron battle axe. He claims it as a personal treasure. Well, good for you. Glad you made a battle axe that you can be proud of. There was a time in the game when those strange moods would fail, and the consequences of that were often horrible. What was I doing there? Oh, gathering. Setting up in order to gather the plants and things that are growing inside the fortress. It's not my favorite thing. But when you find the caverns, when the dwarves punch through into underground caverns that are full of mushrooms and I forget what it is, dense fungal growth or something, it starts to spread into the soil areas of the fortress, and then various underground plants grow all over the place, which you can ignore. or you can gather them once in a while, as I just ordered. So we're going to set up some cheese production, as well as making sure that we're processing plants, things like pigtails, into thread and stuff like that there, as well as spinning the thread into thread. Spinning wool, I think, animal hair into thread, I believe, is the idea, so you can shear an animal like an alpaca or something with enough hair that's long enough to turn into cloth and rope and stuff like that. I am looking at the stone stockpile. I think I'm just probably checking on how many wheelbarrows are assigned to it, because as you can see, it's largely empty. It's not completely empty. Oh, and my animal stockpile is full as can be, so that's problematic. Set up a little dig here. Dig some more space, and I'm pretty sure the intention there is animal stockpile. I'm looking at the one that's surrounding the butcher shop, and as you can see, it's jam-packed full of cages. There's a bunch of prisoners in there that I should be disposing of. Some of them probably died on their own, but things like ettins and whatever, they don't seem to ever pass away from being confined in a cage. I don't know if the idea is that the dwarves might be feeding them, goblins and kobolds and things like that, including bigger monsters, but forgotten beasts I don't think ever get captured in a cage. But the big wandering creatures, minotaurs and ettins and cyclops and whatever else, they can get caught in cages, which is kind of helpful. So otherwise they would stomp the dwarves into oblivion. I've dug out a bunch of rooms here, but haven't placed furniture in a lot of them. So I think I'm not sure if enough work orders have been completed. I'm just checking to see whether there's unclaimed beds. There are a fair number of them, actually. What am I doing here? Oh, I'm just looking to see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's actually easier than checking the beds themselves. Checking the rooms to see if they're, the people, or dwarfs, I should say, that are living there, using those as their living quarters. And I've got another 3 or 4 rows of 10 rooms that need to be partitioned off with doors and have beds and cabinets and chests and coffers and whatever. Chests and coffers are the same thing, but have those things added so that they can be designated as bedrooms for the dwarves. Oh no, I used a non-derogatory term. I didn't call them dwarfs, I called them dwarves. What am I doing? Oh, I'm going to build a wall to close up that. Oh no, I'm building beds. Never mind. Placing beds. Also known as building beds, but not actually building the beds, just placing them in the rooms. Let's see if I've got enough made. I don't remember. I may or may not have ordered 40 beds to be made, or 40 plus. Or I might have used some for nobles and stuff like that, or hospitals. Looks like I'm pretty close. We got enough for all of these rooms? Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So besides beds, we'll need to close off that one wall there where the dwarf is walking through, but we'll need doors and a chest and a cabinet just to make it a little more homey, although I do make them all the same, except for the noble quarters. Alright, what's going on down here in the caverns? And these are the upper caverns. They're not very deep, which is interesting. doesn't give me lots of digging room before we get to the caverns, unfortunately. Although there's plenty, I think. And then there's, I think almost always there's lower caverns as well, which I haven't bothered to go seeking yet. I think there can even be multiple sets of caverns. This one is not super large. It's only, I'm going to say 7 or 8 Z levels deep. Tall, however you want to say that. The looms are up and running. So what happens is they spin yarn that's been produced in the farmer's workshop into cloth, or not spin, weave into cloth, and also spider silk. They make threads out of spider silk, which they gather from the caverns primarily, or what I used to do in the previous non-3D versions of the game, or actually I think even in some of the 3D versions, I used to dig some corridors, and if they're disused, like the dwarves never go down there, the cave spiders would come and set up shop and start making some webs. So I could do that without sending the dwarfs down into the caverns, which were historically also pretty dangerous places. Once you have a bit of military and stuff, it's not bad. So now I'm setting up the some clothing manufacturing with the thread that's being, or not thread, with the cloth that's being produced at the looms. So I'm making silk, a variety of silk things for the dwarves to wear, the dwarfs to wear. So I'll do silk in this one loom, silk stuff, and then probably set up, I don't know if I have 2 clothing shops at this point or not. You need more than one, I think, to keep up with the dwarves once you get up around, once you get a bunch of dwarves. And where are we here? 185 population right now, so you need multiple shops to keep up with the demand. 2, I think, normally is what I do. Socks and shoes. I try to get all the major body parts covered off with clothing, and that seems to keep them reasonably happy. If they're wearing rags that are falling off, eventually they become naked, and they don't care for that for some reason. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing with this other shop, except it'll be yarn. I did have a look at the stocks to see whether there would be enough to do these things, make the clothes. So, what else we do? The animal stockpile that I made is gradually getting cages and whatever put in there. Time to maybe make some more, train some more things. Probably would be smart. Get some more war dogs trained. Too bad you can't train war cats. That would be fun. Imagine a swarm of cats attacking a horde of goblins or something like that, or I don't know, a minotaur or a forgotten beast. I feel like that would be fun. And what is this game about if it's not fun? Got some troglodytes, a Draltha, giant crow. I think we can, yeah, I'll train the giant crow, I think. Maybe not. Maybe not. It's the sort of thing you can do, though. Got some domestic animals at this point. Other than cats and dogs, I mean. Well, and then there's the farm type animals as well. So I think we're gonna train up the Draltha and the giant crow. And I don't have the option to train things like troglodytes, which I guess are considered too intelligent for that, or maybe not intelligent enough, one of the two. Just looking at the notices that have been going on for the last while, nothing too exciting. Yeah, the work orders for doors and coffers and cabinets are still chugging along. They might be hampered a little bit by the lack of stone up there, but I'm not sure about that. Checking on the old statue situation. What else we do? Yes, I'm still looking at statues. Very exciting. Exceptional basalt statue of somebody the something. What else are you going to look at? Statues again? Am I picking one to build, or what am I doing here? I'm not sure why I keep coming out and back to look at statues. I'm thinking about something, and probably it's to put some into temples or quarters of nobles. Why am I going in and out? Oh, it's because I'm looking at different ones, and the menu system doesn't allow you to, I don't think it allows you to go back, so then you have to go in every time. That's what's going on. Yeah, I'm thinking about quarters, getting their value up a bit so that, like, the queen, for example, will be happy. Yeah, she wants a bunch of rooms and possessions like weapon racks and coffers and things like that, and she's unhappy that she doesn't have those things. I'm unlikely to get them up to her standards, but even if you get like such that her satisfaction level is in the yellow, I'm going to place some doors to partition off her rooms, I think. If you can get her satisfaction level up to yellow with the various things, then at least she shouldn't be out throwing tantrums because she doesn't have any chests or whatever. I'm picking better quality doors a little bit, and I'm done with that. What else? She's going to need a bedroom, a dining room, an office, and a tomb. A designated tomb for when and if she's killed, if and when she's killed. So again, looking for things that are of fairly high value. Tables in this case. Oh, excuse me. How are we doing? We're getting to be, we're about 2/3 of the way through. Well, I might take a break, or I might just keep gabbing away here for the overdub. This is not something that I wish to do very often. I'm doing this largely as an experiment to see, well, so that I can, basically, I'm spending an hour so that I don't waste a recording. It is fairly painful, to be honest, to have to do this, and I guess I didn't have to. I could have not posted this video and just skipped it completely, which I considered doing. Anyway, setting up a tomb here, a place that I can designate as a tomb. Take the better quality coffin. And what else? I'm going to need to put a bed for her bedroom. I'm setting them up sort of at the back of the rooms. I don't know. It's just sort of my preference, I think, with the bigger rooms. And then a bunch of stuff will have to be added. Weapon racks, armor stands. Here we go, doing some designating. So there's her office area. For Tobe, we assign Tobe, and then her consort comes along, or her king, I guess, her husband. Although dwarves are sometimes polyamorous. a dining room to be assigned to her. Assigned to Tobe and friends, husband, and maybe children too. I think it's only the partner that shows up in that menu. This is the tomb. We will assign it to Tobe as well. And then finally, the bedroom. Alright, let's see how happy she is. Oh, she's in the yellow, but she doesn't have any chests, which... Oh, I'm also looking at the outpost liaison wants quarters, and I don't care for that. I think the outpost liaison can sleep on the floor somewhere, as far as I'm concerned. Or in a in the dormitory. And I have to pause this because I have a phone call coming in. Great. And I'm back. Was that exciting for you? Probably you didn't notice, because I don't think there was much of a break in the audio track there. I think I managed to pause both video and audio sufficiently quickly that it's not really synced. My description, well, my description is synced to the video that's playing, but only in the sense that I'm playing them simultaneously, so shouldn't have gotten too far out of whack. I'm currently having a look at the status of these are engravings, I think, that I'm having done in the bedrooms to make the dwarves happy, happy, happy. Yeah, everything was, all the stone in there was smoothed. So in this iteration of the game, all dwarves will sort of pitch in and smooth stone, which you need engravers to do the actual engraving. The engraver's gone to sleep, so no, right there. Unconscious. Ustuth let mosebsur. Engraver. She's an expert now, and yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at some of the things in her description. So once she wakes up, she'll get back to engraving gradually and gradually get to be better. Oh no, we have a ghost, a clerk that got murdered by something. Maybe another dwarf, possibly, but more likely a cave creature or something like that. So we'll get a memorial engraved. We have to find them, which is easier if you make note of the name. There you go, Cyril or Carol. I typically use a soft C with the dwarves for some reason. I'm not sure why I do that. Probably not going to stop doing that though, so I might as well just roll with it. So we'll get a memorial slab engraved and then placed with a small ceremony, and the ghost will be satisfied and put to rest. At least in my experience, they've always been satisfied once you do that. The ghosts can have a variety of behaviors. They can be more or less benevolent. They can also get upset and start throwing shit around with their ghostly telekinetic powers, I guess. I think on average, though, the worst thing about having ghosts around is that the other dwarves aren't very happy about having ghosts around. So that's something to be avoided, so you don't have unhappy dwarves. If you get too many unhappy dwarves, horrible things happen to your fortress. They fight, and then there's more upset, and you can get into these spirals of despair. No, I think in this fortress I am choosing to not approve petitions for adventurers to come and eradicate monsters. I think I had one fortress where I think they were basically just stealing artifacts and things, which isn't great, and it just upsets the dwarves and me. Me, the dwarven overlord. I'm probably contemplating building things like weapon racks and such. Maybe I'm not. I don't know what I'm contemplating here. Looking at the Looking at the Z levels here, the mining area. Am I going down? Yeah, I'm going down to the caverns gradually. Looking things over. Looks like the cage traps are all back in business. It is a quiet period for the fortress right now. This would be a good time to... Oh, a depressed child. The Queen Necromancer ended a mandate. Not sure if I... Oh, we got a cave crocodile. We got a cave crocodile, right? Oh, right there. So that's in the past. Oh, there it is there. Those guys can be bad news. He's already seriously injured though, so... it's in the description where you see their wounds. There we go. He's got some broken toes and smashed toes, a cuts on his leg, his upper body, etc. I actually didn't notice if it was a male or a female cave crocodile, but whatevs. I chose not to send the military after them, obviously. I'm seeing a lot of cave sweet, what do you call them? Sweet pods, I think, and other things that could be harvested down here, which is what I'm choosing to designate. Quite a few things there. It can be a little dangerous sending harvesters down into the caverns, but yeah, I should maybe rethink that a little bit. Okay, what does a queen need here, or want? A lot of chests, a lot of armor stands. She's got a mandate for making splints. The nobles get sort of these... I'm going to use a slightly crass term. They get sort of hard-ons for certain things, and then they want them made over and over again, and they also want them not traded, so it's a pain in the ass. Ooh, look, militia commander bestowed the name Tath Amnek upon an iron spear. Once they start naming their weapons, you know they're pretty happy with that and getting good at whatever the weapon is, getting good at using whatever the weapon is. Looking around the caverns, see what's going on. There's a Draltha wandering. Got a bit of a cave sparrow people problem. They can actually be dangerous. Had some dwarves, I think more than a few dwarves have died. Regular civilian dwarves in particular, but also military. If you send a military, but the whole squad doesn't come down at once often, and then a lone dwarf against 9 cave swallow men and women that are armed with dart guns and whatever else they fight with can be pretty bad news. Am I designating? Yes, I'm designating fungal trees to be chopped down here. Fungi wood and tower caps. Giant mushrooms that basically produce wood. They're so large and dense that a tower cap in particular is a dense as well as a prized wood. You can see quite a few logs laying around down here. I don't have a large wood stockpile anywhere, which would be a good idea. Also doing some designating of plant gathering while I'm at it. I have not got a dye industry. Oh, a temple and priest. I'll approve that, but I usually fail. Oh, dead child. And it's game save time. So that's always exciting. Autosave, we're in early autumn, year 107. I think it just saves once a year, if I'm not mistaken. Lots of tower cap logs laying around down there, which is great. They're valuable. The dwarves like things that are made out of tower cap, and anyway, it's one of those things. I see more giant shrooms that could be cut down. I'm looking at how much limestone I have, which looks to be quite a bit. Well, what was the number? There was a number. That's the easier way to check. Probably past me was looking at the number. There's a bunch of logs there see the caps there in the red and the yellow. can cut down a whole bunch more underground wood. Lots more. I guess I haven't. Oh, there goes a tower cap shroom. A bunch of logs fell there. Very nice, very nice. I should designate a bunch more while the woodcutter is down here. There's one just over there. Go get it, you doughhead. Look, all of those ones. Mostly they're fungi wood, the yellow ones. What am I doing? I'm gonna dig out some more limestone is what I'm doing. Apparently. Somewhat cautiously, it looks like. Just things that are probably limestone. I don't really need whatever the metal is. It's going to be galena probably, which is an ore of silver, I want to say, or tin, lead. I don't know. Lead maybe. Can't remember. Could cut down more trees. I mean, giant fungi. What is that? That's floor. I'm going too fast for myself to even catch up. Mica, that's an interesting one. Once you get down to the Z level -11, the caverns are not there anymore. So, well, I shouldn't say that. They're not visible. They don't connect to these caverns. It's probably the better way to put that. If there are caves down there, they don't connect to these ones. Hopefully there's a buffer of some number of levels that are not full of caves, and I can set up another layer of dwarfen civilization. Designated things to be gathered, harvested, en masse here, lots of them. I feel like I should be designating those trees to be chopped down, but apparently I'm not in that mode. Past me is not in that headspace at the moment. How are we doing? Oh, we're down to the last, 7 minutes or so of this video? Soon this overdub chore will be complete, and I will be happy about that. Dig some more stairs here to see what's down below. -13, that's not so far down below. It's only a couple of Z levels below the lowest cave point that I'm aware of, but it's a start. I should make a jog in the corridor so I can set up some more bridges to seal things off, drawbridges to seal things off when it becomes necessary. The deeper you go, the more hideous things come up. Silver, iron, copper, lots of copper, lead, and lots of charcoal. So pretty good shape for metals and charcoal. I think my storing of these things isn't great. You can see this workshop is full of, really full of metal bars. What am I thinking here? Am I thinking about steel? Yes, I am. Pig iron is a necessary precursor to steel, as is, iron, obviously. I think that's all you need besides coal or charcoal. You need iron, pig iron, and charcoal, I think, are the key. Oh, and fluxstone. Such as limestone, or what are some of the other ones? Marble, I think. And I forget what else. And I forget what it is in the stone that is necessary for that process. Is it maybe calcium or something? I'm not sure. That doesn't sound right. Talking out my butt as normal. I should do a quick Google. What is a fluxstone in steel production? What is a flux stone in steel production? Is that a real thing? Flux, any substance introduced in the smelting of ores to promote fluidity and remove objectionable impurities in the form of slag. Limestone is commonly used for this purpose in smelting iron ores. Other materials used as fluxes are silica, dolomite, lime, borax, and fluorite. Well, there you go. Yeah. So the flux stone in Dwarf Fortress is used to create pig iron. And then you combine pig iron and steel and I think charcoal to make, sorry, pig iron and charcoal, I think, which is carbon source, to make steel. And what pops out of the end of all of that process is, I think, 2 steel bars, because you've got the 1 iron bar and then the 1 pig iron bar, and then I think at the end you get two bars of steel when all is said and done. So I'm promoting the pig iron process up to the top, and then probably I'm going to add a steel. I'm looking at the furnace operator's credentials here. It's not that skilled, but for just melting and smelting, I don't think that matters. It's the weaponsmiths that need to be skilled, other than speed and smelting. Melting. They don't do felting. I don't think the dwarves do felting. I think it would be useful for a variety of purposes, but they don't seem to do that. What am I doing? Oh, I think I'm making a new, probably a new stockpile to handle bars of metal. We'll zoom out yet, dork. Okay, apparently I'm not too sure what I'm doing. Looking at the population of bars and blocks, both of which seem to be full. Like full stone blocks as well as metal bars. So are we going to make some stockpiles, or what are we going to do here, brother? Come on, man, you can do it. Okay, well, that's something. There we go. Repaint that. We'll make another one. Oh, I extended it. That's what I'm doing. Okay, I'm extending those stockpiles, which is actually better than designating new ones. Okay, so now you can see the dwarves are already dumping metal bars in there from primarily the workshop, I'm sure, as well as they're setting up and bringing stone blocks. So that's good. Get some of those things out of the workshops. When the workshops get too cluttered with stuff, they are ineffective. They're not able to be used effectively, so it really slows down production of things. All right, Mebzuth. Cast Dusim is smelting or making pig iron. Good job. Good job, my friend. Just checking out the various workshops. Stills are still being used for brewing. The kitchens are being used for cooking. Oh, not that one. Let's sort that out. We want lots of food. Lots of prepared meals, I think. I'm not quite sure why they stop. And that still going strong. Should I be burning more charcoal? Probably not, actually. I think there's close to 400 charcoal ingots, or bars as the game calls them. Ingots is maybe not the right word for charcoal anyway. Blocks of charcoal, probably. Pausing the game, and I think it's time for me to wrap this up. So I do thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this overdub. You take good care of yourselves, and I shall see you next time. I really will, in another episode soon. So, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye. For real. Bye. Bye.